Coming up on today's episode of PSN, we got a couple of beauties joining the show. Dom Cozzolino and Greg Westlake from Canada's men's para ice hockey team. You won't want to miss it. Let's get started.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smythe and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. I'm your host, Alex Smythe, as always joined by co-host Nathan Clement. Nathan, I'm excited to get into today's episode. It's all things para ice hockey. Are you ready?
I cannot wait to get the pucks in deep and cycle through all the questions and all the talking points. So I'm really looking forward to having a couple multi-time and now friends of the show come on and talk para ice hockey.
Yeah, well, you know, Greg was mentioning, I think before we were recording, that he wants an SNL-style jacket prepped for him because now he is tied with the most number of appearances on PSN. So, you know, that's going to be something we're going to have to address rather soon. If we get one clear winner of our most repeat guests, we may have to do something special for them.
Maybe we bring it to the viewers and listeners if there's anything that we can do for the front runner, for people who've been on the show the most. If you think of anything that'd be a fun sort of celebration feat to have, please let us know.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, as I mentioned, we have Dominic Cozzolino and Greg Westlake fresh off their silver medal from the Para Hockey Cup joining the program. Here's our conversation with Dom and Greg. Dom, Greg, thank you both so much for taking time chatting with us today. We're delighted to have you both on the pod.
Of course, thanks for having us.
Pumped to be here with my man Cozzolino.
So, Greg, I'm going to start with you because this is your first tournament since coming out of retirement. How did it feel?
It felt pretty average. No, you know what? It's kind of twofold. You know, from like just the personal side, I think like a lot of people who play sports for as long as I have, and a lot of people who kind of make it to that Paralympic, Olympic level, it feeds your soul. Like I absolutely love playing this game, and you know when that day comes when you do play your last one, and I've gone through that now, and it stings and it's hard. But it's the unfortunate thing that every athlete faces. And so from like kind of the mental side, I was over the moon. It was fun just to be back in the change room, back with the teammates, on the ice in competition. So as far as that all goes, I had an absolute blast. And in terms of performance, you know, there's always things you can do better. So just back to work.
Dom and Greg, thank you for joining us. Dom, this question's for you. As a team, what was the reaction to having Greg back on the ice after he's returned from the coaching side of things?
Well, I think I don't want to pump his tires too hard because he's right here, but no, I think when you have the opportunity to have a leader in the sport and obviously for our country like Greg to step back in, like you'd be stupid to not take that opportunity with him. And yeah, the boys were so pumped, and you know, I know how bad Greg wanted this, and for me, I think it's really special to have one more opportunity to play with a guy like Greg. So, yeah, for me, like I'm looking forward to the next 4 months of getting to do it alongside of him, and something I definitely won't take for granted.
And Dom, following up with you, this not only is the first competition with having Greg back, but now you also have a new head coach with Boris Rybalka. What was it like to have him as the head coach leading the team for this competition?
Yeah, well, Boris is amazing. He is truly a salt of the earth guy. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he cares so much about our team and us as players individually. And it's just really, really easy to play for a guy like that. And you know, I think we're not like an NHL team where we get 82 games to iron out the kinks of our game, but we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make it seem like, you know, we're spending every day together. And Boris is such a passionate and hardworking coach that, you know, I'm just excited for this next month and heading into Dawson Creek, because I know we're going to take another step as a team and really show the rest of the world what we're going to be like in March.
Greg, to you, you know this better than anyone else going from the coaching side to back on the ice, but what has that change meant to have Boris as the head coach now?
Well, it's a new voice, and I think players are always receptive to that because I think you see it in all sports, whether it's basketball, football, hockey. people get comfortable in their roles and their spots and where they are in the lineup, and then a new coach comes in and you're not sure where you fit in, and so there can be some nerves at first and all that kind of stuff. But like Dom said, he makes it easy. He's a salt of the earth guy. So even though maybe where you line up and who you play with might be a little bit different, we do feel like he has our best interest in mind. And, when you have trust, I think that's one of the key foundations for coaching. So I think we're in a great spot, and, just see where we can take it from here.
And Greg, we talked when you first made the transition to being a coach and kind of the lessons and experience you could take from being a player in applying it to the coach. Are there any lessons or anything you can apply from being a coach and bringing it back to being a player?
Yeah, they're both hard. I remember the interview well, and when we talked about the coaching side, I mentioned just how much they work. And, the game's over and you go back, you're cutting video, you're making presentations, you're just always on. Whereas on the player side, you go and you rest and you recover and you get more downtime in your hotel room. But then, then there's the competition side, which is, games are for players and practices are for coaches kind of mantra. And, it's intense out there, and I wish there were some things I could have taken from the coaching side onto the ice in Czechia, but at the end of the day, 3 years away is a long time, and the only way to get that back is to jump into the fire and just to jump in and maybe have a couple shifts that aren't so great and go back and watch the video and realize that there's things you can do better and realize that you have more time than you think. And so really it doesn't matter whether you're 39 or 29 or 19, you play the game, you go back, you review, and you try to get better. So I think those things are constants for an athlete, no matter where you are in your development.
Dom, this one's for you. You mentioned Dawson's Creek. How important are these tournaments coming up or just happen as we are getting closer and closer to Milano Cortina?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I think, I kind of just touched on it. Like, we're not like an NHL or PWHL program where we get 50, 80 games in a season. Like these games really matter for us in terms of coming together as a team, but individually as well, like building confidence and making the most out of those opportunities. And so I think for us, this next 3 weeks or a month leading into the tournament is huge to make sure that we can show up in Dawson Creek and really make the most of the 5 or 6 games that we get to play together. And not only that, but I think we also want to give the fans a good show while we're out there. This is an opportunity for them where they don't get to see para hockey, and so hopefully there's a couple people in the crowd that fall in love with the sport, and we can build off of that in the future. But yeah, no, I think, look, I'm a hockey nerd. I know Greg's the same. Like, I would play 100 games in a year if I could. And so it's especially important this year and at this time of the season, but I can speak for every single one of us in that dressing room. Anytime we get a chance to play, we're chomping at the bit for it.
No, that's fantastic. Now, Greg, I want to ask you about this because it seems like over the past couple years, the level of competition is just kind of ramped up exponentially. There's no longer really an easy or a given game, even against teams like China. So, talk a bit about how the field of competition has kind of progressed and evolved to the point that now it's no longer just a straight shot going to the finals. You're expecting to face the Americans every time.
Well, it makes the sport more fun for sure. We love playing tight games. We love when other countries get better. It's wild to think of all the growth and development of the other nations, and we don't even have Russia back yet, right? And so that's another very proud hockey nation that's going to be there after this one. So the road's only going to get harder, and I think it's just indicative of kind of the Paralympic movement. I know Dom works with the CPC right now. I've done a lot of work with them in the past, and all the sports are just growing tremendously, and it's all the countries. It's the money that's going into Paralympic sport, the equipment, the nutrition, building better athletes, the recruitment of it all. And really, it makes me proud to see because, I'm a guy that when I came in kind of 2003, 2004 into this crazy world of Paralympic sport, that wasn't the case. And so I'm excited for this next wave of athletes. And, obviously I'm biased toward Canada, but when you got to show up and you got to get through 4 or 5 really hard games just to make a gold medal game, and then you can go out there and be triumphant in that one, I just think that when that day comes for our country, that is going to feel incredible, and it's something to be very proud of, because the hardest one to win is always the next one, and so it's only getting harder. And again, just being biased, it's going to feel all that much better when we finally get there.
It's really crazy to see and beautiful to see how much parasport has really grown and improved from just the level of competition, but also just how close and tight-knit the groups and teams have come. And the one thing that's amazing to see about the Canadian para ice hockey team is how tight you all are. And this is a question for both of you, Greg and Dom. Is there anything that you take the most pride in as a team?
Well, I'm going to give a little bit of a preamble here. I'll let Dom really just get an amazing answer for you, and I'll talk for a while. But you asked Dom about me coming back, and when you talk about how close our team is, it's guys like Dom that make that possible. And I'm going to answer what it's like to play with Dom first. But when I decided I wanted to come back and do this, it was about 3 months before it ever got announced, and Dom was the guy that was texting me the whole time, making sure that I was working out, and on days where I felt like I couldn't get back, and on days I felt like I wasn't going to be able to push through to that other side of training, he was the guy that really got me there. And so I think that I bring up that story because I think it does share a little bit about what makes our team so tight. And I don't think it's unique to parasport, but it's that brotherhood. It's that sense of community. It's that there's this amazing group of people outside of my family that love me and care about me and have my best interest in mind. And so guys like Dom, who I've got to watch from, being a 20-year-old kid into the kind of the leader he's become now, that is the stuff that is fun for me now at the age I'm at now, watching the guys take over the team and the culture and make it such a beautiful thing now where it's people helping people. And, that story in and of itself is just, to me, what being part of a team is about. It's just an extension of family for me.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that. Like, for me, I know it's so cliche, but it really is like a second family. And I'll give you my side of the story of Greg's comeback. And I think I mentioned this to you a bunch of times, Greg, when we were talking, but I didn't want Greg to come back for himself or for any of those reasons. Selfishly, it was because I wanted a chance for us as a family to go out and try and get it done for guys like Greg. When we win a gold medal at the Paralympics, I want Greg to be one of the first guys who gets a medal around his neck. And so that's kind of, I think that really encapsulates, oh my God, is that even a word? Sorry, we just got off the ice, so I'm feeling a little brain fog. But I think that really encapsulates the feeling behind our dressing room is every guy is really going out there so that he can give his teammate the best chance to win. Like we talk a lot about our whys and why we go to the gym on days we didn't get a good sleep or we're sick or whatever, and it always comes back to that family, the guys inside the room that I think one thing that about parasport and it's not just para ice hockey but all parasports is you meet such like-minded individuals who have experienced similar setbacks or guys who have acquired a disability in the same way. And you just really don't have the opportunity to make those connections outside of parasport. And in my case, at least in para ice hockey, like hockey was all I ever wanted to do before I acquired my disability. And to meet guys like Greg, and all of our other teammates who are cut from the exact same cloth, Canadian boys who just love being on the ice and know what it's like to be up against it and fight through disability. Like to me, there's nothing more special than the connection that we have. So it's something I'm going to play until I'm dead, I think. So.
Yeah, I was going to add to that even just a little bit more. Just like I think that's such a beautiful answer Dom gave. And I think what's really fun right now is that, for hockey in Canada, we're in this place where the way that we build teams is so different these days than it was 20 years ago. And the mindfulness and the journaling and how serious guys take it now, just to see that kind of that love and respect of let's all be the most professional we can be and we're going to help each other get there. I think Dom's bang on with that, and it's really awesome to see.
Now, for both of you guys, it's just over roughly 4 months out from Milano Cortina. What do these next 4 months look like? You have the Para Cup coming up for you, and then it's just full focus on Milano Cortina. So what is this stretch of time going to mean, and how are you guys going to make sure you're in that position that when the opportunity comes, you can answer the bell? I'll start with you, Dom, and then Greg.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I kind of have a boring answer for you. Like for me, and I think I could speak for everybody when I say this, like not much changes. Like we do the right things every day. You know, we focus every day, whether it's a Paralympic year or not, we're focused every day on getting 1% better. And so nothing changes from here on out. You know, the clock's ticking a little faster, it feels like, but our mindset and how we prepare doesn't change. Obviously we're going to go to Dawson Creek with, you know, an immense level of focus and really, like we talked about earlier, try and make the most of those 5 games, because in our sport, they're few and far between. But outside of little adjustments here and there in terms of, you know, how we play technically and tactically, all the preparation doesn't need to change. You know, nothing needs to change on our end. And I have full confidence in all of my teammates are thinking the same way, and you know, they have confidence that I'm doing that as well. So for us, it's just about showing up and putting our best versions on the ice come medal day.
It's a great answer. I got to follow that. I think, you know, Dom's right. You know, it is that self-care and that preparation that is the most forefront. I think we talked about it off the top, what it's like having a new coach. You know, so at the end of the day, the only thing that I would add to that is this is going to require a little bit more, because we are learning new things and new systems, and we're trying to pull off, you know, a new game plan, you know, with 4 months to go. So on top of the incredible amount of physical, mental, and all that preparation, there's going to have to be a lot of buy-in. There's going to have to be a lot of video sessions. There's going to have to be a lot of guys with kind of that team first attitude of am I doing everything to not just help myself, but to help the whole group as a whole. And so it is going to require more than usual, but you know, winning isn't easy.
It's a beautiful journey to be a Paralympic athlete and to chase dreams and goals like that. Now, we have a couple rapid fire questions for both of you, so feel free to answer both of them. So we're going to start off with you, Greg. Morning skate or evening skate?
Morning skate.
Oh yeah, 100% morning skate. I skated at 5:30 last night, and I felt like I was sleeping. So.
And then, okay, Dom, we'll start with you on this one. Playing indoors or outdoors?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think I got to go outdoors, just with all the memories I have on a backyard rink. Sorry.
I'm going to take it like it's competition. Like, I hate playing outdoor games. We've done a few in St. Louis, and like the sun's coming down, the ice is garbage. So I love a good ODR and outdoor rink. I grew up on them in Ottawa. But if we're talking competition, indoors all day.
I'm going to start with you, Greg. Best rink food?
A glizzy, a hot dog.
I will say a nice warm rink fries. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Slurpee machines, but those go hard too. I would do some things for that right now.
You're mixing the hot and the cold, so your mouth doesn't know quite where to go.
Yeah. Well, you're bringing me back to like when I was a 9-year-old kid running around with my parents' money. So
who is the funniest teammate, Dom?
Oh man, we have a few characters in our room. I'd probably go with Adam Dixon.
I do agree, but I'm never going to give the same answer. So Zach Lavin gets me pretty good.
In kind of that same vein, but who is the best trash talker, Greg?
God, it might be the same two guys, Lavi and Dix. I think Mac's pretty quick. I think Coz is pretty quick. I like some thought behind my chirps, like not just basic stuff. So, it's the intelligent ones that I think are amazing.
Yeah, I think obviously Dix and Lavi, as you mentioned, Greg, like those two come to the top of mind right away. But I think Greg's sneaky pretty good out there too. He's a nice guy on camera here, but you don't want to be on the opposite team.
He would never say it that it was him too. So he's also humble in that way. He's never going to put himself forward. Dom, I'll start with you on this one. Favorite TV show to binge?
Oh man. It's a tough one for me. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite. And you know what? To be truthfully honest, like once the NHL season starts, like I don't watch much other than hockey. I'd probably say Game of Thrones.
I'll give a comedy and a drama. I love Tim Robinson, so I'd go like Detroiters or the Chair Company I'm watching right now. And then I love just some gory action like Spartacus.
For you, Dom, what's the best travel city you've been to?
Travel city. I mean, we go in and out of Vienna quite a bit. Like we just got back from Czech Republic. I definitely wouldn't say Ostrava, but I do love Vienna, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Italy as well. But you know what? I love traveling inside of Canada too. I'm sorry, that's a terrible answer, but that's all I got for you.
No, I've had amazing times in Canada, but there's two places in particular that if anyone from these countries is watching right now and is looking to host a para hockey camp, I would love to get back to Seoul, South Korea, and Stockholm, Sweden.
Nice. No, those are fantastic places. Greg, starting with you, you already gave comedy and gory action. What's the best sports movie?
Oh gosh, sports movie. When I was a little kid, I was obsessed with a Disney movie called Iron Will, and it's a dog sled movie, and it will fire you right up. You will be ready to climb a mountain, burst through a wall, or win a gold medal.
For me, I would probably say I'm a Habs fan, so The Rocket, the story about Maurice Richard, was always a really good one for me. But I also love Moneyball. I think that's something I could watch over and over again.
Both great picks. Greg, what's your must-have in the locker room?
Whew. Pretty easygoing guy. If my gear's there and they got my jersey, I'm pretty happy. You know what? A hot shower after the rink. You need that wet. You need that warm water after you get off the ice.
I would probably say a cup of coffee for me. I do have quite an extensive routine that I like to go through that I'm not going to get into to save myself the embarrassment, but I'll just stick with a cup of coffee.
And this is the last one. Dom, I'm starting with you. If you had a trading card, what would it say on your trading card?
Oh man, probably need to move the puck a little quicker. Yeah, that's a tough one. What would it say on my trading card? Like about my game?
Yeah, it could be about your game, your style. Or if it's easier, you could answer what would be on Greg's, and Greg can answer what would be on yours.
Oh, man. Okay, for Greg, I would say just a tenacious, hardworking, gritty player with some skill that is bound to come out in big moments.
Okay, Greg, what would be on Dom's card?
Well, I was going to answer this I was going to answer it like what hobbies I would put on my Mine was going to be way different. For Cozzo, it would be a high-end offensive player, calm, composed, tremendous playmaker, and makes his line mates better when he's out there.
Boys, thank you so much. This has been such a treat for us. Obviously, we enjoy talking to you and everyone else on that team. We're probably not going to get much of a chance to chat before Milano Cortina, so let us give an official PSN send-off, and best of luck. We'll be following along.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it. Always a good time. I'm free tomorrow.
And that was our conversation with Dom Cozzolino and Greg Westlake from the men's para ice hockey team. Nathan, always such a pleasure to chat with those guys. You know they have fun, but they're also just such a good group of guys together, and the camaraderie is just so strong.
It's just amazing to hear and just see the love, admiration, and respect that they have for each other, and just that tight-knit group. We talk about it a lot in sports, is those tight teams, those tight collectives, they go far because they're so close. They have that chemistry on and off the ice, and whether that's on the ice or behind the bench, they're all such a tight-knit group, and especially with Greg even answering some of those questions, it felt like the coaching hat was still on a little bit in some of those responses.
Yeah, it's still correct in saying, well, we got to correct things. We got to install the new game plan and approach to the game with Boris Rybalka as the head coach. So, yeah, it's still definite room for improvement, but The one thing we didn't ask him on that rapid fire, what was their favorite hockey cliche? There's been so many. Such a missed opportunity. I guess we're just going to have to get Greg back on tomorrow. Like he said, he is available. We know we can call him up. But yeah, unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to wait till the next time we have a chance to chat with those guys and see what their favorite cliche is. Going out the door, Nathan, what's your favorite hockey cliche?
I always love, we got to work on our PP. I think that's always the best one for power play. I think that's always one of my favorite ones that comes up, or even pucks in deep, or just something along those lines is always something that gets me going when I hear it, like on a TV interview or anything like that. But how about you, Alex? Any favorite hockey quotes or cliche or sport cliches?
So there's a hockey cliche. Definitely for me, it's we have to use all 4 lines. Well, you should be using all 4 lines in a hockey game in general. Like, that's just how you play the game. But I love that quote. And then I also just love for sports in general, I got to give 110%. You always got to give 110%. Well, it's physically impossible, but I appreciate the sentiment. Just like how we give 110% on every single show we do, Nathan. And this show is no exception. But we're going to have to save that extra 10% for next time because we're out of time on today's episode. So thanks for watching and listening. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.